Hi, welcome back to my stream. Currently we are selecting the mission to recover Enigma from the Uboat wreckage. So we will take this one and try to use our diver to pick up what is needed from the wrecked U-boat. So we will have to reach our destination where the U-boat was wrecked and send our diver, as I said, to pick up what's left from, technically pick up the Enigma, the coding device.
Kurs setzen! Halbe Fahrt voraus!
Das U-Boot, von dem der BDU vermutet, dass es versenkt wurde. Ich kannte Ihren Funker, Ernst Brien. Er ist ein alter Kollege von mir. Ich hoffe, er ist rausgekommen. Er kommt aus demselben Dorf wie ich. Wir haben den Kontakt verloren, nachdem er es verlassen hatte, um zu studieren. Vor ein paar Monaten habe ich erfahren, dass er auch der Kriegsmarine beigetreten ist, nachdem der Krieg ausgebrochen ist. Wir trafen uns vor ein paar Wochen in einer Kneipe.
Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel, 14 Meter.
Kurs setzen!
Eines unserer U-Boote hat eben ein mögliches Ziel innerhalb unserer Reichweite gemeldet.
Let's perform one hydrophone check. See if there is anyone traveling this standard direction between Norway and UK or
Ich
Britain.
benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 245 Grad.
So we have one contact which is closing in. This we could technically intercept.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
10 Meter.
Even though it's like 15 miles behind us, but this is not a big deal, so we can return easily.
Anblasen! Auf diese Motoren wechseln. Elektrokompressor einschalten. Netzpumpe einschalten.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht. Alarm! Denkt alle an eure Ausbildung. Bleibt ruhig und konzentriert.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Yes, we can see it on the horizon over there. So this one is type Explorer, Empire Explorer type, because there are these 3 masts. So there are 3 masts, so this will be Empire Explorer. Standard velocity is typically 7 knots. Angle is roughly around, I don't know, around 40 or 35% to the left side.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
We have to measure the
3,
distance.
1, links. Schussunterlagen
Which is
aktualisieren.
roughly under 4
Entfernung
kilometers.
3, 8, 5, 4 Meter.
But without prior notifying them that we will sink them anyway, we will try to technically get the crew abandon the ship and just get over the ship with the skill of our lead mechanic. We just have to get closer, so I will speed up now.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht. Herr
Bleibt
Kaloin,
wachsam,
feindliche
aber keine
Schiffe geben
Panik.
Alarm.
Wir machen das schon.
We are already close enough. We can just interact with them. So we use light signals that we want to sink them anyway. Okay, they refuse to abandon the ship, so we have to sink them. Since this is the single ship without any escort, we will use our deck gun to bring them down.
Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
Alarm beenden.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin. Herr Kapitän?
Auf dieses Schiff zielen. Kurs 3,7 Grad.
As always, we are using high explosive ammunition, so we are trying to toss fire on the deck to bring the ship down faster. And my technique is to use concentrated fire on this location and then somewhere there is a crate, and this typically causes massive fire.
Langsame Fahrt voraus. Ruder mittschiffs. Kurs 6 Grad. Kurs 7 0 Grad.
As we can see from the waves, it looks like it's quite windy weather, so we have to be careful and not to submerge too much. Fire is already there on the deck, this is a good sign. But the crew is still trying to extinguish them, to put the fire down, so we have to continue firing and hopefully the fire will spread also to the front. We can technically start firing this trade location.
Kurs 9 3 Grad.
Alright, so such a fire should be already enough. They probably won't be able to put both fires down. And yeah, this should technically bring this ship down sooner than later.
Kurs 8 Grad.
We have to wait until the captain decides for the crew to evacuate, to abandon this burning ship, and then we can take the victory. This should be our last one in the Tonnage War campaign, because this should be, we are already at around 98,000 tons, which we sank, and this will be probably more than 2,000, so this, it's definitely more than 2,000, so this should complete our Tonnage War campaign. We can perform the quick visual check if we see any other ship by any chance. If not, then we will later do any hydrophone check for the boat which was reported by our allied submarine.
Kurs 107 Grad.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Kurs 114 Grad. Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel 2,8 Meter.
Let's hope that the captain of the ship will give order to evacuate quite soon, because to prevent all or any casualties on their side, because this is not what we intended. Our goal is only to sink as many ships and as much tonnage
Die
as we
Besatzung
can.
evakuiert
Okay,
das Schiff.
perfect. So now it's already they decided already to abandon the ship, which is very good.
Alle Maschinen stopp!
Zeit für eine Auszeit.
So as always, we give them supplies and then also the shortest way to the closest shore, so they can be saved. And we also try to take captain and mechanic to our U-boat as a captives for later exchange in our home port. We will still wait a bit until it really sank, and then we can also check if there is any valuable load what they carried, so we can maybe loot the wreckage for our needs. So from the look of it, almost everyone survived, which is very good. This is the full one with nine sailors, and there were on this one there were also captain and mechanic, so it was 6 of them, so hopefully none of them, there is no casualty.
Sie gehen unter. Ja, wir haben ihn.
Okay, so we can report that we sank the Empire Wolfa to the headquarters, and then we also check the wreckage.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
There are sausages and pork. We do not use these in our canteen or in our galley, so we will just ignore these two and continue our journey to Enigma recovery.
Bestätige!
We will still try to intercept this ship which was reported by our friendly U-boat at this sector. So we can technically go somewhere there and then
Kurs
do
setzen!
high
Jawohl, Herr
defense.
Kaloin!
Zielposition erreicht.
Auf 10 Meter!
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy. Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
Tank!
Okay, so we did not pick anything up, but now we will continue.
Herr Kaloin,
to
wir sind
Enigma
aufgetaucht.
recovery. Yeah, so the Tonnage War goal was already reached by sinking this one ship. It is now already over 100,000.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen!
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
So there is a friendly U-boat type 7B.
Uns wurde von einem verbündeten Boot ein mögliches Ziel in unserer Nähe gemeldet.
This one is not far, but it's quite fast. There's 9 knot speed, we have 10 knots, so this will be very close catch, and we have another important mission to carry on, so we will ignore this one. Okay, the research or aerial reconnaissance was done, so let's complete the task and check if we have any spare points which we can use. No, we are currently at 0, so we cannot continue with any new activities in the headquarters, so we have to wait until we raise our reputation.
Bestätige!
Uns wurde von einem verbündeten Boot ein mögliches Ziel in unserer Nähe gemeldet.
This is a convoy, and since our 2D U-boat has only 5 torpedoes and we will need them to probably cover the U-boat wreckage area, so we cannot engage with any convoy at all.
Zeit für eine Auszeit. Melde mich zum Dienst.
Right, so we are approaching the area or destination, and we will have to switch to electric if there is
Auf
any
E-Motoren wechseln!
patrolling ship or any warships around this area, because there was our U-boat sank there, and we will start like with the slowly approaching the area to see if it's safe to send our diver to pick up Enigma. I will also perform visual check now. We can fill our galley anyway, and we are on the way. see already something on the horizon, so let's slow down.
Kleine Fahrt voraus! Alarm! Feindliche Kriegsschiffe in Sicht! Peilung! Direkt voraus!
So it seems that the area is guarded by one destroyer, one
Sinkendes
corvette.
Wrack! Direkt voraus!
And there is also Type 7C wreckage somewhere in the middle between them. So let's try to calculate torpedoes and then we will dive to maybe engage a bit later, but let's start calculation now. So most likely it's this EF class, because it has two masts with flags, and then also at the end you see these small hooks, and it looks like that this destroyer has these hooks, and there is, oh no, there is only, okay, these two chimneys, one is just behind the cabin, so this is probably there, and then I'm still not sure. But we are not on the right angle anyway, so we'll have to turn slightly left to have a better angle to see the second chimney.
Kurs 2,
And for that we will
2
already
Grad.
dive.
Auf Seerohrtiefe!
Alles klar, ich werde mich darum kümmern. Funktelegramm
So we will
gesendet.
use our torpedo mechanic to start maintaining the torpedoes. Then one of our radio men will man the torpedo calculator, and we will use our officer, our lead officer, as a command station, that he will be in charge of supporting all the other teams with activities.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Verstanden! Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert. Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
We'll also go to the quiet, silent mode in order not to get attention of these ships, because they are most likely already listening with their means for any new sub which is going to rescue or pick up the Enigma from the wrecked U-boat. So we have to really approach in the silent mode.
Schleichfahrt! Ruhe im Boot!
Only for the sake of better visibility we will switch back to the red light, even though the blue one will be better, but blue one will be used, we will use only if we will go to the bottom and to just get rid of them, if we will notify them by our presence.
Auf Rotlicht wechseln.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Auf Rotlicht wechseln.
let's just estimate that this is the EF class as was checked before, and now I just want to see what's the distance if the destroyer is this class. It's not yet sure, we have to get closer, but from this hook's perspective, from the configuration of masts and the chimneys, it looks like we are probably dealing with the EF class destroyer.
Aktualisieren. Geschwindigkeit 0. Knoten. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
Very rough.
Entfernung zum Ziel
Destination
5 Meter.
calculation is now around 5 kilometers, so we have to get definitely closer.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
As for the corvette, it's technically too far away. But from the look of it, it looks more like the Isles class corvette. So let's try with this one for now and check the distance.
Schussunterlagen
This seems to be a bit
aktualisieren.
closer,
Entfernung 4.
but we definitely have
4,
to
2
get
Meter.
much more closer.
Torpedo, Rohr 3, gewartet. Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel, 125 Meter.
halbe Fahrt voraus.
We will try to get closer a bit faster, but we will not be able to reach as close with such a speed because of the noise of the gearbox and engines, that we will have to slow down anyway. But for 5 kilometers I think we are still quite safe to use this middle speed for the electric motor. So the aim is to get the destroyer at 90 degrees angle, so we will not miss. We'll still fire 2 torpedoes at it, and then at the same time we will fire 1 torpedo at the corvette. Hopefully we will be able to engage both of them with pre-order movement, because then we will have to recalculate our torpedo course to hit a moving target. But we still should have some advantage because we are already using T5 torpedoes, which are zoning in, so they should follow the noise of propellers. So if we are lucky enough, we should be able to, if they will start to move, we should be still able to target them more easily than with the standard type of torpedoes. Yeah, all of them are T5.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 4, 7, 3, 5 Meter.
We already cut the distance by 300 meters, so we are slowly approaching. And also, since we are moving at an angle, so we should be able to have the 90 degrees to the destroyer quite soon. We already see the second chimney is almost now separated from the cabin, so we are going to see if we have our type EF class, like if we estimated it or guessed it correctly.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 5, 0, rechts.
Currently we have a big advantage because we know about them and they do not know about us, so we have a chance to find a better firing position. This is what we are currently doing, and by doing so we should surprise them and technically hit both of them at once. So because there are these hooks at the end, let's check if there is any other class of torpedo which has them. So this is only a rod there. This one is with the hook, so that's why we for now decided that it should be EF class. This one nothing, this one nothing, nothing, nothing at all. most likely not the... No, there is a different type of front. This is not this at all, because of chimneys, and this is already cruiser. So I believe we should have the correct estimation that this should be EF class, including these two chimneys. One, probably something like this there. Yeah, we'll see. We have to get closer. We are slowly approaching, so let's measure distance again.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum
Now we
Ziel.
roughly had another 300
7,
meters
1 Meter.
from the distance.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3970 Meter.
On this current distance, I'm not sure if we are facing the front on the back of the corvette, but I will estimate that we are already facing like behind it. So let's check the angle. My estimation is somewhere around 110.
Aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 109. Bug rechts.
Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Kurs 220 Grad.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Kurs 239 Grad.
2 gewartet. Ja, Herr Kaloin, ich kümmere mich darum.
Alright, so what I can technically see now, that we are not facing the destroyer from the front but from the back, so we should be... Okay, we have to change our approach course, because this seems to be incorrect.
Kurs 282 Grad. Kurs 294 Grad. Kurs 297 Grad.
Torpedo Rohr 3 gewartet.
Aktualisieren. Winkel 1, 4, 2, rechts. Aktualisieren. Lage 1, 2, 6, Bug rechts. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3308 Meter. Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3964 Meter. Winkel 1, 4, 0. Bug rechts. Kurs 326 Grad. Kurs 350 Grad. Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel 1, 6, 7 Meter.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3158 Meter. Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3563 Meter. Aktualisieren. Entfernung 4157 Meter. Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel 1, 6, 6 Meter.
So we will have to slow down because we are getting a bit closer, and I do not want to reveal my presence yet.
Langsame Fahrt voraus. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3,389 Meter. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 4,058 Meter. Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel 1,59 Meter. Kurs 3,3,4 Grad.
And down there is this Type 7C wreckage.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3,231 Meter. Kurs 3,17 Grad.
Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
And since we are coming from this angle, I would like to align them next to each other visually, and then if we will fire torpedoes, like all three of them at once, we should be able to hit maybe even both ships if we calculate torpedo course right. But first we have to like bridge these gap between them and to really see them as one continuous surface area for the ships.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 3088 Meter.
Yeah, so the first impression was that the ship is facing forward, but now we see that it's facing backwards, and since we change the approach point, then we are seeing more and more of this ship so wider, so it seems that our first estimation was wrong. Now it's better, now it's corrected, so now we'll be able to calculate the torpedoes with better precision.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3158 Meter.
Gewartet.
And since we are approaching our 3000 meters distance, I will slow down the speed still one more notch
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
to note the evil our presence by noise. So finally there's some separation between chimney and cabin. So we are approaching 90 degrees almost.
Torpedo Rohr 3 gewartet.
Yeah, the gap is a bit wider, so we still should move a bit, but I even think that we can get the better angle if we will have Corvette not on this side, but on that side of the destroyer. So maybe then we will have all of them aligned at 90 degrees.
Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 2836 Meter. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 3409 Meter.
We still have to count with Type 7C in between them. I have no idea how deep this U-boat is currently, so we have to technically, when we will send our torpedoes, we have to probably raise the depth of the torpedo. So we'll probably go with like 1 meter below surface, not lower, 1.5. So we'll cut this default depth for the torpedo by half, just not to hit our U-boat, which should be somewhere in between them and with unknown depth. We are already 6 hours and 12 minutes in this new year, 1940. So we already were around beginning of this year, we were already close to the destination point.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 2779 Meter. Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3278 Meter.
Is 100% EF class because we also see this small notch on the first chimney, so this is already there, and I believe we have very good estimation of the destroyer we are going to deal with. And for the corvette this is also true, because it seems like this segment in front, it's probably something of these two, because the other one has just a longer front deck and longer. Or is it this one? Still could be flower class. I'm not for this ship. I'm not that convinced that we have a correct. There should be this angled thing at the end, and I do not see it. Oh, maybe there is something. Still not clear. But there is the second mast here, so this could be that. And let me check the other one. No, there is nothing. So it's definitely ice class corvette. From the mission perspective, we are still just to reach destination, so we are still not in the vicinity of the what headquarters decided for the destination, so we are not yet so close to the Type 7C last known location, but we are getting closer. So as soon as this is gone, we will see what's the next objective, but it's technically still that we should reach the destination. Air quality is still 93 degrees, 93%. which is still very breathable. Discipline 100%. And battery capacity at 95. We still have 2 days at such speeds with battery, so oxygen is only for 8 hours. We should have plenty of resources for that. We already have the air filters in the ventilation system, so we can technically, I think, using all 40 or full capacity of these 40 filters, or capacity of 40 of the filters, we could technically clean completely bad air to the 100% one more time. We will have to double check it one day, hopefully not today, that we don't have to spend so much time under water or without fresh air. So we are approaching 90 degrees for both, but we are not yet there because these hooks are still both visible, so if there will be only one at the end, then we will be 100% 90 degrees to the destroyer, and we will see with the Corvette we still can see that the front is like we are looking inside the bow, so it looks like there is still some degrees behind it, around 90, let's say 95. This is a roughly good estimation from now on. We are approaching at 2 knots, the slowest speed on the silent alarm state. Just use the red light for better night visibility, but the crew is already in a silent mode. And as I said before, we will fire 2 torpedoes first, because it looks like from this perspective, this angle, the destroyer is behind the Corvette. So we'll first fire 2 torpedoes at destroyer, and then as soon as these 2 are around, I don't know, not in the middle, but somewhere there, somewhere like in 1/3 of the distance, or maybe it will be quite challenging to really know where to fire the second one or the third one to hit the Corvette, but we will try to somehow time it correctly, maybe based on the distance. So with these two hooks we are already almost at 90 degrees. We are getting closer and closer. For the Corvette I do not see if there is only 1 or 2 of these at the end, so, but still from the front perspective we are not at 90 degrees. As soon as we hit 90, we hit 90 on the destroyer, we will change course directly at it, and then we will already start preparing torpedoes. All of 3 of them are maintained, so this is good. We used our approach time to prepare our firing capability, and then we will have a chance to fire. The crew is a bit tired, especially Harrow and Hubert, but yeah, they still manage. We have plenty of coffee, so if needed they can get some kick. So currently when we are approaching 90 degrees on the destroyer almost, it looks like the corvette is in the way. So we have to, as I said earlier, the corvette has to go to the left side of the destroyer from our angle. And then we will fire first 2 torpedoes on destroyer and then 1 torpedo on corvette from our 3 tubes. And we will hopefully hit each one of them with a good timing. Corvette is definitely in front of destroyer, so we'll have to fire first 2 torpedoes to the more far target, and then 1 later on to the closer target, and hopefully they will hit each at the same time. I will time the second or the third torpedo for the corvette with a bit more gap. Probably when we reach, I will double check them. I will remeasure the distance from them when we will be in the position, but I will most likely fire it a bit later with small delay, because hitting destroyer will be like before. Corvette is the higher priority to not spook it, and then if the corvette is spooked, then we technically could avoid it, because this is much more easier warship to avoid. So we have a plan. Hopefully they will not detect us before. And we are just almost approaching the situation where the corvette is behind the destroyer from our angle. We are not yet at 90 degrees, we still see 2 hooks, not just 1, but we are very near 90 degrees, so we will have to turn quite soon. But first we have to get rid of the corvette from this angle. Yeah, that's how we approach these warships. Pt4 covering the Type 7C, our allied U-boat wreck.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Lage 9-0. Bug rechts. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2,990 Meter. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2,438 Meter.
So from the fast measurement what I just did, it seems that there is only 500 meters between them, so we have to fire first 2. They have to reach more than half the distance, and then we can fire the third one for corvette, but this is much more close to target, or much closer. I mean, yeah, the distance is not as high as we think, so definitely we have to fire 2 on the destroyer. Maybe they will even actually hit, and then we will try to hit moving corvette, just to make sure that the destroyer is not spooked by our wrong timing. From this angle we are already in front of corvette, but I'm not sure about destroyer yet. If we passed the 90 degrees or not yet, because I was... this is the back section of the corvette, so the hooks are currently covered. We do not see them. So we try to get better position, change course, and then hopefully we won't miss anything.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 2,438 Meter. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2,990 0 Meter!
We are almost not running at them at all because now they are directly left of us, so we will have to change course anyway. Because the distance did not change, so that's correct because we are currently running in parallel to them, so we have to start facing them.
Kurs 276 Grad.
With our 5 torpedoes reloaded to spare, we technically have one chance. Maybe we'll get a small second chance for one if we miss, but we do not have so many chances for missing.
Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
Tiefe unter Kiel 1 Meter.
So this is much more shallow than we were before. When we approached them, before it was 160, now it's only 41, which is good for us for water pressure if we will have to dive to the bottom, if we will miss. And just maybe we'll have to survive some death charges, but 41 is not bad. Even though Type 2A, Type 2D, both small subs do not have any door between any compartments, so if there will be any leakage, the water will spread across whole sub. We cannot sink, like, we will not reach the high pressure depth because it's only 40 meters now, but we still will get water, and we could technically lose some crew members if we will not be able to get the water out fast enough, because the bunk beds will be flooded, and then the crew members cannot be stabilized. They need to be in a bed in order for our paramedics to stabilize both. Or both, I mean, all wounded, seriously wounded sailors, if needed. Okay, we are almost at a position that we could start firing. I just want to see the hooks from the EF class of destroyer, which we are currently going to fire at. But it looks like we are probably now in front of it. We were at the 90 degrees already, but like we are in front of corvette, we are most likely now in front of destroyer as well. And I do not want to fire all three of them at once, because we'll hit corvette first, and then the destroyer will definitely start moving away and start searching for us. So we must not spook it, because then destroyer is the higher target.
Kurs 228 Grad. Kurs 247
We'll turn
Grad.
almost at the destroyer now to have a slimmer profile from their perspective, so the detection of our U-boat could be worsened for them, and also our engines will be hidden by our body parts, so body mass. So this could help us to conceal our approach. So you can see we are already looking at the stern of the corvette, so it's most likely we are already in front of it, because we see I also see something. Also, we are close to 90, and for the destroyer we are also close to 90. So it will be quite a challenging calculation, but we will manage. I just want to see the hooks is the best indicator of if we are at 90 or not at 90 positions. Degrees, I mean.
266 Grad.
We're already quite close to our Uboat 400, which we should pick up the Enigma from. And this can be done only on the surface, so we are approaching this as well. And I would like to know how far it is, if it's in front of them or behind or somewhere in between them, but from this angle and this position it's currently completely undetectable. It's somewhere there. Okay, we are starting to see at least one hook. And let's check if we will see the second one, and then we can align our ship to directly facing destroyer, and then start our firing. Okay, so now it looks from this angle that we are at 90, so let's face them directly.
266 Grad.
Because I see like almost only one hook. So there are like two of them very close to each other, but this is very close to 90 degrees from what we are currently seeing. Corvette is a bit different thing, but I will also estimate that it's at 90. I will double check with the image. Let me do that now. So there should be a separation between the chimney and the cabin, and we should see the mass in between, but I do not see the separation anymore. I just see like very close to each other, so we are maybe not at 90 anymore, but very close to it. Still, if we will by accident miss Corvette before destroyer, it's still doable, because our torpedoes are T5 type, so they could technically be attracted by the propeller noise and then turn anyway, even from the other side if they will miss.
Kurs 225 Grad.
Right, so let's prepare. So I will set Corvette around like 1 or 2 degrees in front of 90. But first destroy, so it's not moving, we have 90 degrees.
Aktualisieren. Lage 9-0 rechts.
Just remeasure the distance.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 2, 5, 4 Meter. Rohr 1 bewässern. Rohr 2 bewässern. Rohr 1 bewässert. Rohr 2 bewässert.
As I said, to not hit our Type 7C Allied U-boat 400 by accident, I will higher the depth, so from 3 meters to 1.5 only. And dispersion, let's also reduce from 85 to around 40. Just not to hit anything else by accident. Alright, 40 is fine. Now we have everything ready. The gyro angle is synced, so let's fire.
Los!
And I already asked our torpedo mechanic to prepare the next torpedo if needed. Alright, so the destroyers would turn kilometers, and Corvette is at 2
Schussunterlagen
kilometers. That's
aktualisieren.
roughly 5
Entfernung zum
meters,
Ziel
500
2,
meters
0,
between them.
4, 3 Meter.
So we will have to wait until we start counting like last 40. What's the speed?
Tor 3, bewässern.
Speed is 24 knots. Okay, this is not going to help me. But let's wait until the first one reached half the distance and then we fire a second one. As I said, so we will set the course just to be before 90, so it's like 88.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
Distance we already
Winkel
have.
8, 8,
Velocity is
rechts.
static, 0, so let's wait until our torpedo mechanic will say that it's somewhere in the half of the distance. And then we fire the third one. And hopefully we'll have 2 more loaded in no time by our torpedo mechanic.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg.
Alright, so now we fire the third one.
Los! ...40 Sekunden bis Torpedo-Einschlag.
Right, let's wait.
30 Sekunden. Treffer!
Alright, so at least there is one hit.
Feindliches
There
Schiff
are
getroffen.
both hits.
Schwere Schäden. Schwere Schäden.
And now the Corvette will probably start to move and maybe our torpedo will miss, or maybe it will be attracted by the propeller sound. At least both ships will probably start to move now.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg.
So we stop to not attract our torpedo back to our propellers, and we will see if we can hit Corvette. But I will in meanwhile ask our torpedo mechanic to load the last torpedo.
Ja. Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
Herr Kaloi, eingehendes Funktelegramm.
As we can see, Corvette is definitely moving.
Funkraum besetzen. Die Besatzung evakuiert das
Right,
Schiff.
so destroyer is already evacuating the ship, so they will not
40
engage at all.
Sekunden bis Torpedo-Einschlag. Sekunden.
Funkspruch erhalten. ...20 Sekunden.
Zehn
They
Sekunden
will
bis
most likely
Einschlag.
turn to our direction, but let's calculate the velocity if they are still at this angle.
Fehlschuss.
Yes, so we missed because it moved, but we'll see if the torpedo will change the course or not.
Melden Sie mir die aktuelle Tiefenmessung.
only for knots for
Schussunterlagen
now.
aktualisieren.
But it's definitely already turning
Geschwindigkeit
to
4
so
Knoten.
there.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Winkel 5, 5 rechts. Entfernung 1,805 Meter. Rohr 1 bewässern.
The corvette is going to turn at us, so firing torpedo at this steep angle will probably not yield any damage. It will probably be a dud. We are currently completely stationary, so completely quiet, and as soon as the torpedo is loaded there should be no noise at all. And since they are already firing lights, so we can just switch to blue light and be completely quiet.
Auf Blaulicht schalten.
Yeah, so firing torpedo at this angle will just not hit anything. So now they are facing almost our direction directly. I will lower periscope and we'll probably start to just hit bottom if there is any. Okay, so now we have everything loaded, so let's just dive to the bottom.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf Blaulicht schalten.
And I will assign our torpedo mechanic as a damage control officer, so if there will be any damage to our ship, he should technically reduce the impact. And with 2 additional sailors, it's going to be better.
20 Meter.
Meter. Horchraum besetzen.
Okay, so we hit bottom.
50 Meter.
The corvette seems to be moving to the left, so maybe it did not approach us directly, so maybe we could fire our torpedo. Let's check it visually.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Meter.
Herr Kaloy, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
So we technically missed a small chance to fire at it, but we'll try to wait and see if there will be any good angle to fire at the corvette, which is approaching us quite fast.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 1, 2, 2, 9 Meter. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 3, 2, links.
We also assign our torpedo mechanic because both torpedoes are currently maintained and loaded, both remaining. He's on the depth steering station, so he should help our crew, our sailors, not to reveal our submarine live, because the waves are quite high, so we should not pop up if he is assigned to the station. He should really guide these sailors correctly, so we should remain invisible for the corvette as soon as they are not so close to us. The bodies is already quite close enough.
Rohr 1 bewässern.
We try to calculate the velocity of corvette again.
Bewässert. Aktualisieren.
I think it's
Gegnerfahrt
too much, so
8
we will
Knoten.
manually adjust it to 6.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerfahrt 6 Knoten. Schussunterlagen
closing it fast.
aktualisieren.
So I will
Entfernung zum Ziel
This could be even
7,
8
1,
knots.
2 Meter. Aktualisieren.
But this angle is
Geschwindigkeit 8 Knoten.
not possible to be used for now. Okay, so they still did not see us. They are just searching, and now they will probably reveal themselves from the side, which we could use for our advantage.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 5, 6, 3 Meter. Winkel 6, 5. Bug rechts.
So we'll definitely fire one more torpedo now, as soon as we get the speed.
Hüllenbruch.
Gut
Sie
gemacht.
sinken.
Perfekt. Einer weniger.
Aktualisieren.
Okay, so the speed is still
Gegnerfahrt
60.
4
Oh, sorry, 4.
Knoten.
The angle is now around 83, let's say, and we will fire the
Schussunterlagen
torpedo right now.
aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 8, 3, rechts. Los!
And the destroyer is already sank, so at least we got rid of that.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. Sekunden.
We won't fire our last torpedo for now. We'll keep it prepared, but if we will miss, then we will
20
dive
Sekunden.
and wait until the corvette decides to leave. They still do not know.
Treffer.
Ah, okay.
Feuer an Deck.
So we managed.
Schwere Schäden. Alarm beenden. Schleichfahrt beenden. Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Herr Kaloin,
Natürlich, Herr
feindliche
Kaloin.
Schiffe geben Alarm.
Alright, so they
Das wird nicht
now we
einfach,
revealed our
aber wir haben
position,
schon
but it's already
Schlimmeres
too late for
überstanden.
them.
Lasst
They
uns
won't be
ruhig
able
bleiben. Reisekompass einschalten.
to engage us.
Sie gehen unter.
Ja,
Okay, they're already
perfekt.
down.
Einer weniger.
Tanks anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Elektrokompressor einschalten. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln!
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
So destroyer is sank, and then also corvette we managed to hit. So now we have free surface for checking for recovering Enigma from our U400 Allied U-boat. But I will still first manage the survivors, give them supplies, give them direction to the nearest shore, which should be somewhere there. It's quite close. I think it's island, and then we send up a diver to pick up to recover Enigma. Yeah, so Ireland is already there. So let's quickly or slowly move in to pick up or to supply or give supplies to survivors.
Kleine Fahrt voraus!
Okay, so there is no one who survived from the corvette, which is quite difficult, but yeah, there were no survivors, so we just picked the canned bread and yeah, pray for them.
Folgen Sie mir!
Bestätige.
So while we are bringing all these 19 canned bread from the wreckage we just managed to sink, then we will we just have to wait until this is done and then we'll continue. Alright, so we managed to bring everything to our storage area.
Folgen Sie mir.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Kurs setzen!
Okay, at least there are some survivors from the destroyer.
Halbe Fahrt voraus! Kurs 226 Grad. Alle Maschinen stopp!
Now we can give supplies to all of them. This canned bread is for free for us in our headquarters or in our home port, base port, that we can just give it without any financial impact. But if needed, we can definitely give them other type of foods. Okay, so pork we cannot take, and replacement parts, I'm not sure if we have anything to repair. Let me quickly check our storage area. Yeah, we have some space, so let's pick it up.
Alle Maschinen stopp!
So we are already on top of our allied U-boat U400, which is somewhere below us, and now we will send the diver to pick up Enigma, to recover Enigma. Well, none of our crew members is killed diver, so we will send just Felix as one of the new colleagues on our new colleague of our crew that we just sent him, and he will be the one who will try to recover it. Okay, so the main hatch is not open. It's not possible to open for now. Badly damaged. Okay, so he will try to use escape hatch in the galley. So let's try enter through the escape hatch option. Alright, so Felix got inside. He used the escape hatch and now he's managed to enter the crew quarters. And then... okay, he's trying to open the hatch to the control room where we expect the Enigma could be. Okay, so Felix managed to unlock the hatch. Okay, it's not filled with water, so it seems that the control room is still with oxygen. Okay, there were some noise, some human voices even though. Okay, so there is a radio man and his assistant for many days now, so they will be probably close to last minutes technically. Okay, they have access to Enigma machine, which is what we are looking for, but they are now higher priority than any machine. Okay, so they want to be launched in the air bubble from the control room into the surface. Okay, let's try that. Alright, so he's trying to open the hatch on the conning tower. Even though it's badly damaged, it's going to take a few minutes. Yeah, we see the very slow progress, but already like a couple of percentage through. So let's wait until he open this badly damaged hatch and then help the radio man and his assistant to reach surface in this air bubble. So we are over half the progress, so hopefully he will be able to open this badly damaged hatch and then help this radio man with his assistant to reach our ship on surface. We are quite lucky that we came. It was really a couple of days into this closed central part of the Type 7 U-boat, so they will probably running out of food already and water. And also oxygen. So it looks like he's almost over. Any moment now. Alright, so he managed. That's very good. Both are in the serious condition now. Definitely they have to be because what they went through. Let me ask our paramedics to help them.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Bestätige.
Alright, so both are being taken care of. Is he recovering already? Yes, he is. Right, looks like both are going to recover. No, nope. Alright, so it seems the assistant is not yet through. Broken arm. Okay, we'll need some recovery time. We can manage that. Alright, since the torpedoes are inaccessible, Tube 1 and Tube 3, while he's there, let me try to move him there. If he can access torpedo 3. Yes, now it's possible, so we will use this position of him, of Frostman, that we can still manage and maintain the torpedo in the our last torpedo in Tube 3. Alright, so let's move on. We managed what we came for. Even we received a bit more than what we came for.
Bestätige.
Alright, so we will travel directly back to our home base.
Kurs setzen! Halbe Fahrt voraus!
So on our way there, we managed to sink one ship. So this is what we technically needed. We are already 10,000 tons sank around British Isles. So this is already a result campaign. We already managed to destroy a Royal Oak in the Scapa Flow. This is also now done, and if we will successfully return to our home base, we will be able to also finalize this campaign, this Enigma recovery. What we still have to do, we only laid mines once, so we still have to do it twice. But hopefully this is going to be available for the headquarters for our crew when we arrive at the home port and resupply. Okay, so we will start compression a little bit faster. We already spent 5 days on sea, so roughly we will need 4 more if there will be no interruption in between to reach our home.
Kurs setzen! Bestätigen!
Nähe gemeldet.
Okay, we have no chance to engage with convoy with only one torpedo, so we have to just continue.
Wir wurden von einem nahegelegenen U-Boot über ein mögliches Ziel in diesem Gebiet informiert.
We will perform hydrophone check if there is any ship going from Port of Bergen to either, it's just now naval base, maybe there to on top, or maybe to Edinburgh from there. So let me just do a quick hydrophone check.
Auflauf 50 Meter. Ortraum besetzen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Schraubengeräusche, mittlerer Konvoi. Peilung 135 Grad.
Okay, so this convoy is closing in. Let's just check if we will not
Diese Koordinaten setzen.
cross. Okay, no, they're behind us, so let's continue.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
We cannot engage any convoy, unfortunately. Even though it's quite big one, it would be
55
quite
Meter.
good opportunity to sink enemy freighters, but this is out of our possibility right now. We are lucky that we have Preen on board and with his assistant, slightly wounded but still alive.
50 Meter.
Okay, so it seems this was only one contact on our hydrophone check.
Tanks
Yes.
30 Meter.
Let's continue and
Schraubengeräusche. Mittlerer Konvoi. Peilung
Okay, it's a middle.
130 Grad.
let's perform one somewhere in this line from Bergen to
10 Meter.
Hartlepool, so somewhere here.
Kurs setzen. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln. Elektrokompressor einschalten. Netzpumpe einschalten.
Uns wurde von einem verbündeten Boot ein mögliches Ziel in unserer Nähe gemeldet.
Okay, so there is a slow steamer somewhere in 245 heading west. 245. Oh, okay, this should be possible. 245 somewhere there. What was the exact angle? 244. it's almost heading directly at us. So we can just head directly to it and then we should technically find it on our way there. If it's slow, then we will probably be able to travel there. He may be there, so we will do hydrophone check around this point.
Kurs setzen. Natürlich, Herr Kaloin.
Herr Kaloin, wir haben unsere Position erreicht.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter. Horchraum besetzen.
Let's double check where he exactly is at the moment. Because 245 is not as small, so it can be also passing us from left or from right.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5
Auf
Meter.
E-Motoren wechseln.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung
So it's very close to
330
us, it
Grad.
seems.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
50 Meter.
Alright, so he was passing us to our left. That's why we did a hydrophone check, because we won't be able to see such a distance, 9 miles. Maybe a bit like a smoke at least, but it's already night, 2 o'clock. So in January the nights are longer.
Schraubengeräusche. Mittlerer Konvoi. Peilung 240 Grad.
Okay,
Aktuelle
so the other
Tiefe
convoy is
55
still
Meter.
in our hydrophone range, but this is not what we can handle.
Anblasen.
So we
50
can
Meter.
clean a bit our map.
Aktuelle Tiefe 30
Auf
Meter.
Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Kompressor einschalten. Netzpumpe einschalten.
Right, so let's perform visual check. I see something there.
Alarm!
Yeah, correct. So he's already
Peilung 270
almost.
Grad.
He already
Ich
passed
hoffe,
us
alle sind
already.
bereit. Das könnte hart werden.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten
Okay,
setzen.
quite fast, so we have to speed up.
Äußerste Kraft
Catch him.
voraus.
From the glance what I saw, it's
Telegram
the
gesendet.
Empire Tower. So we can verify it quite soon, but for now it's just running away from us quite fast.
Kurs setzen.
Still
Betrachten Sie es
12
als erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
miles. You have to run at full speed to catch it.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Okay, it's there. I'm not sure if it's Empire Tower because I saw these two towers, but these are too small, so probably this is just Empire. What's the name? Either Bell or Explorer. There will be third one, so let's get closer.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ja, Herr Kaloy, ich kümmere mich darum.
Do some time compression to catch it.
Ich werde mich darum kümmern.
Handelsschiff! 20 Grad!
Torpedo 3 gewartet.
Kurs setzen!
So let's, we are already moving too fast, so let's signal them that we are going to sink them.
Alle
Maybe they will
Maschinen
just
stopp!
give up the fight and abandon the ship. This is what we want to achieve. Yeah, perfect. So they decided to follow our recommendation and leave the ship. Alright, so Ernest is only... there is no new skill. It technically could be used for any type of class using this skill at the headquarters, but this is not what we need, so we will not use him to like skill. We will maybe even release him from our service. We will see, but we will use our Felix. Then Uboat, because he's also a mechanic with skill to just tinker with the engine room and then sink the ship anyway. And then we will use Friedrich because we need our torpedo guy to be as skilled as possible, as fast as possible. Okay, we do not need any detonator, which we currently even do not have. So 6 additional sailors to perform the cargo hold quick check faster. And now we can just board into the ship. In the meanwhile, I will cancel alarm because this is not needed anymore. And also cancel the direct commands. And we can also give them supplies, give them directions to the nearest shore, which is quite far from their location. Hopefully they will manage, or maybe some other, or maybe the convoy will pass close and they will be able to pick them up. But at least they will have some supplies from us. Hopefully they will not die. This is not what we want, we just need to sink the ship, not the crew. Alright. So let's ask captain and lead technician or engineer to our board. We are already 4 out of 6. Alright, and then let's the team board. They are already there. Yes, so they should go through engine room to the cargo hold. Yes. And search what they were carrying. Since they abandoned the ship immediately, I don't believe they had any valuables on them on the ship, but let's check. Alright, so they performed the check. What they... okay, just tires. That's why they did not put any fight. So we can go to engine room and use ability of our lead engineer, ship engineering skill. So he will just tinker and he'll sink the boat without any needs of any detonator. Alright, we will check the wreckage area if there is any valuable for us, but then we will continue.
Sie gehen unter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Wird erledigt.
Okay, there is no wreckage, and anyway they will just carrying tires, so we don't have to send our diver. Because if there will be any valuables, then definitely we will throw something overboard, but for tires we will not do that, they are expendables. Okay, so we can just turn and continue our way to the port, which we will still perform one more hydrophone check between Port of Bergen and London, so somewhere around here.
Kurs setzen! Halbe Fahrt voraus!
Or there.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen!
Beide sind feindliches Ziel innerhalb unserer
Although we
Reichweite
cannot
gemeldet.
engage, so let's continue.
Zielposition
And we
erreicht.
will perform the hydrophone check around here.
35 Meter.
Ich könnte etwas helfen.
Horchraum besetzt. Erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
35 Meter.
Tanks anblasen.
Alright, so we didn't pick up anyone,
15
any
Meter.
contact
Auf diese
on our
Motoren
hydrophone
wechseln.
check, so we will just continue.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Something's happening, let me check. Oh, there was a fight.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
Alright, so what's going on?
Herr Kapitän?
Alright, this shouldn't happen, so he has to be handled by a court martial. So, let's do that.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi.
And let's dress him differently so we will know that he is already being not behaving properly on the U-boat. Hopefully no critical injuries, so he will continue to serve on our ship. Let's check. Or let's wait until he is treated by our paramedic. Alright, so it seems that he is okay. Perfect. Let's continue.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Herr Kaloi, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern. Herr Kaloi, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kleine Fahrt voraus. Langsame Fahrt voraus.
They are almost out of food. Okay, not almost, but... Alright, so we should be greeted by orchestra because we did manage to recover Enigma and also one radio man, Ernst, and one of his assistants, so this was a really successful mission. So I expect some orchestra will be waiting for our arrival. Oh, my expectations were too high. My expectations, so it seems like there is no orchestra. They typically play around here, and I do not see anyone. So nope, no one is really like, yeah, okay, there is at least one guy. He's not bothered. Okay, we just returned after, I don't know, 2 weeks around. But it's not, it was our mission, our duty. We spent 11 days, a couple of hours more. Alright. So we did safely manage to pick up Enigma to recover it. We also found 2 survivors in this U-400 wreck, and also we managed to sink 2 freighters, enemy freighters, and also to take 4 persons captive. We are almost at our home port, so the mission was successful.
Kurs setzen!
Alright, so our crew member Carl did not manage and fight on the just when we were almost close to Germany, and then also Lothar was the assistant of Ernst of the U-400 crew, so he broke his arm probably by trying to surface in this air bubble. So he now has to be hospitalized. Hopefully he will be up in his feet soon enough. So let's complete the mission. Alright, so Felix received 2 crosses now because he was able to recover Enigma machine from the wreck. Perfect, and he also saved life of Ernst. Okay, Iron Cross first class is for Anton. Okay, he contributed to sink the first ship, the Empire Wolf, with our deck gun. Okay, so I also fired at the deck gun. We sink them. Okay, we killed the destroyer guarding the U-400 wreck with Enigma, so this was calculated correctly. We sink it. We also determined torpedo course for corvette. We missed first one, but then we hit the second one. We sink that. We completed the assignment. We recovered everything. Yeah, okay. I moved him to the safety, and we also sink the Empire Volunteer by just asking them to leave the ship, and they follow our order. So that was a really good one. Perfect. So we are already through the campaign Tonnage War. We achieved 100,000 tons altogether, and we also recover Enigma. So what is still open from the campaign perspective? Okay, 11 days at sea. So I think what is currently open, we only have the mine laying. Yeah, we did only 1 mission in this campaign, so I believe there are 2 more open, and we will continue maybe tomorrow. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we hear each other soon. Bye bye.